Let's get in a technical voice. Anil Manghnani, Director at Modern Shares and Stockbrokers, is now joining us on the phone line. Anil, what's your view on the markets? Majority of the fall has happened, or if any fall is happening, we are actually seeing fresh buying?
Overall, the strength hasn't changed on the charts as such. I guess we are a little bit yo-yoing with the globe after a long time. I think for a while we were sort of outperforming the globe on our own, but now we seem to be moving more in line with what's happening globally. Again, I don't like to put too much emphasis on central bank meetings, but I guess that's every buzz this week is the Fed. I doubt they'll do anything, but it seems like the dollar has been strong in the last few days. Gold also has been coming off. So it just tells you that the market is caught in sort of a no man's land and waiting for probably the event to come and go so that they can move on. I think just from a trading point of view, very, very small. I'm not even looking at it from a longer term, but just I think that gap that was created on I think last week on Monday or so when we gapped down and fell 150 odd points, that gap is somewhere around the 8860, 8866 range. So I think that will be the first thing to watch, which is hardly 40, 50 points from here. But that will be the first hurdle to cover the gap and cross over it. On the downside, there's an interesting 6-month trend line that is coming up at about 8740, 8750, somewhere in that range. So holding that would be important, and probably taking out 8865 is an important. But again, that's such a small range of 80, 90 points, so it's hardly much, not worth mentioning. But since we are stuck in a narrow range, just throw out those levels for now.
As far as Indian markets and global markets are concerned, what happens from the Bank of Japan meet as well as Fed meet, only after that you will see a big move, either up or down?
I don't like to put emphasis on like the Fed or the BOJ, but I think that's what the market is watching or waiting, or that seems to be the buzz everybody's talking about, at least globally. I'm not sure how much it'll affect India, but at least in the U.S. market seems to be caught up where, triple digits one day up, one day down, Dow. The whole week was like that last week. It was so up and down. So I think it pretty much seems like we're all waiting for Wednesday. Not so much the Bank of Japan. I don't think really makes much of a difference. It seems to be more the Fed nowadays. And see what they do. But like I said, if you look at our own charts, as of now, nothing seems to have changed. You had a blip one day and then sort of, I wouldn't say consolidate, but move sideways, and now again trying to inch back up. So volatility is there, but is it alarming as of now? I don't think so. Can it get a little tricky on Wednesday onwards? Again, it depends on the event, how the globe reacts to it. But other than that, I don't see too much negativity right now.
As far as Bank Nifty or Nifty Bank is concerned, what's the view over there, Anil?
Again, I think with the exception of what happened in Yes Bank, the rest of the market seems to be tracking the index pretty much. So on days that the markets are doing well, your ICICIs or your IndusInd banks and all seem to be okay, or even your PSUs, and vice versa. Except for, like I said, Yes Bank, because of the news, it seems to have really gone into a tailspin from 1430 all the way to 1160 odd. So I think leaving that aside, the Bank Nifty also, there's nothing as of now to really suggest any weakness. But again, I think it's more or less tracking the Nifty as such. And looks okay as of the charts are concerned. If you really want a key level to watch out, well, it has held the 20-day average for the longest time. And even in the last week's fall, it didn't break it. So that's at about 19,700. So as long as it's above 19,700, it's overly bullish. But only if it were to sort of break below 19.7, that would be the first sign of some sort of correction coming in. Other than that, nothing really much to say on the downside.
As far as some of the large cap movers are concerned, how would you say Reliance is poised? Is Reliance looking interesting?
That's the one. I think, you're always looking out for a new stock given what is happening to IT in between. And I think Reliance has kind of emerged out of that shell. I mean, and taking out a 27-month high as it did on Friday was interesting. I think it is at a level that one needs to watch out, because I believe somewhere around the 1,090, 1,100 is a resistance, immediate resistance zone. But if it can take that out, that could definitely be one to watch out, because, like I said, after a long time, it's trying to do something. It didn't participate at all. It participated in the first move from 6,800 to 7,700, but the next 1,000 points from 7,800 when we broke out to 8,900, Reliance really didn't do anything. So I think if it can take out the psychological barrier of 1,100, you could see some more action in that stock for sure.
Right, but do you think this time around it will be able to take it out, or very difficult to guess because we've seen such moves earlier?
Yeah, I guess, again, without sitting on the fence, I guess you make a valid point that it always makes us believe, at least chartically, that it's trying to break out and then suddenly eventually fails. But again, I think just the fact that it's made a 27-month high, I'll give it a little more importance this time around. But if you're looking for a breakout as a trader, then 1,100 is the level to watch.
Right. Is from the oil pack ONGC also looking interesting? I'll just say after the results it has done well. We've seen a couple of upgrades coming in. Any view on the technical side for ONGC?
I mean, can it stretch up further? Yes, but has the overall trend changed? I don't think so. I think there's going to be a lot of hurdles, but within that, we've seen a stock like SBI also, which was way beaten down, done pretty well. So I think there is some sort of, if you want to call it value buying, or people saying, okay, this stock has not moved at all, so the risk-return reward ratio is favorable. If you take it from that point of view, you could argue. But just chartically, if you look at it, it just looks like a technical bounce back without major upside. If you're talking purely levels, I'd say first watch for the 100-week average, which is placed at about 259. If it were to take that out, then about 276, which is the 200-week exponential. Other than that, I think it just looks like a beaten down stock where people are looking for value.
Right. As far as Reliance Capital is concerned, among the ADAG pack that's looking the best versus even some of the other names, it's up 2% today as well.
I think it's setting up more from a next year perspective, because again, sometimes we look at yearly charts which don't really help from a trading point of view, but just given the volume it's done this year, I mean, I'm looking at the volume, it's already equaled what it did in the entire year last year, and we have still got 3 months. So from the volume point of view, it's doing fine. This stock since 2010 has never closed December 31st above the 10-year moving average. Now it's trading above that 10-year moving average, which is placed at 520. So there are early signs for me that something is happening, at least from a little longer-term point of view. Can somebody take a call right away because the stock is looking good? I guess you could, but again, I think it has moved up, so there will be some caution. I think immediately around the 600 mark is where I would find some resistance showing up.